Hello.
Hello. So just checking. Yes, the stream link works fine. So yeah.
You're talking to me, sorry. That's fine. I think it was in. Oh, I know. I was going to be going camp. Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to go away tomorrow instead. It's all good. Don't worry. I know, it's fine. It'll be fine tomorrow. No problem. I can change my background.
Shall I give you a few more minutes, Zoe or Martin? Am I okay to start? Should we start?
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop the recording. Okay, hello everyone. My name's Shreya and I'm part of the organising team for Birmingham Open Hack. Firstly, I would like to welcome everyone to this Inspire session. Our next speaker is Andrew Bethany from Microsoft. Andrew is an 8-time Microsoft Most Valuable Professional and a Microsoft Certified Trainer. And just to let everyone know, I am recording the meeting. And I'll hand you over to Andrew himself now.
Thanks, Shreya. So welcome to this session on inspiring the first AI generation. Now that sounds a big, lofty title, and truly from the bottom of my heart, I believe it is aimed at you, your peers, and the generation that are coming through higher education at the moment. Let me share some slides. Here we can see that the landscape for technical education is huge. And this is probably why you chose the degree at Birmingham. When you leave Birmingham City University, I hope that you have plenty of skills, plenty of certifications, and the mindset to do great things. Why? Because the landscape for jobs in the technical market is really good at the moment. Because nobody else has these skills. And therefore, that is your advantage. Despite COVID, there are more technical jobs that are unfilled at the moment than any other industry. If you think about AI or data science or any other technical skill requiring cloud computing, there are just no people in those industries. And therefore, it's opened a vacuum. Now, we at Microsoft have spotted this. We saw this a few years ago, and therefore, we're eager to fill those spaces with technical students like yourselves. We've got a bunch of curriculum that we want and expect students to grab hold of and run with. And this is what's happening. We've been working with BCU for the last few years, and we've got a close relationship, including our technical skills, working with your educators, and working with your students. You need to be leaving university with more than just a degree. Now, that's your primary focus. Please make sure you leave with a good degree and you do your best. However, you also need some real-world skills. You need hands-on experience, and you need to be able to talk the talk and not just discuss it at interview. You need to be passionate about the technology that you've learned, that you've touched, and that you can build things with. Okay? You need to be able to walk the walk. So what you do at university will define your future. Now, that could be your career. It could be your business. You could be an entrepreneur. All these things start to happen whilst you're at university. This is the golden age for AI. And we're just picking that one topic today because of the Open Hack focus. But it could be any other technical focus that you decide that you're passionate about. Now, how do you know whether or not you're passionate about something like AI? Because it's such a huge and potentially complex topic. How do you get inspired? How do you get motivated to work in the field of AI? Well, that's where we have a number of initiatives. You've got great professors who motivate you, who want to get you involved. We've got a bunch of career-focused webinars and websites such as our AI Business School, which will explore the content at a really top level. So for example, if you're returning to university as a career changer, perhaps you've worked in the medical industry, in the NHS, you might look at the AI applications for the medical area. So for example, you could easily see how AI could monitor a corridor and raise an alarm if somebody didn't have their face mask through computer vision. So it analyzes all the faces and sees if it can see an open mouth or a mouth. And if it can, then it can see that that is an unmasked person. And therefore, you could get somebody who's interested in medical, interested in AI, but maybe not a developer. They could then partner with developers like yourselves from a technical college or a technical university, and then build a solution. So that's one area where we want to inspire people. Another area is where you can, within your university, you can study and attain some certifications. Now, one of them that we're going to focus on today is our Microsoft Azure AI Fundamentals. Okay, now this is one of several fundamental courses and curriculum and certifications that we have available, and that we're working with BCU, with Rehan and his team, to develop and roll out to as many students as possible. Now, the AI fundamentals, please don't think that just because it's got the word fundamentals in the title, this is simple or it's basic. Not at all. This gets you stuck into the actual code. You learn about all the different types of AI, and I'm going to demonstrate some code examples. You also have the option to attain an industry recognized certification. Now, why is that important? You know, after all, you're going to be getting a degree. So why do you want a vocational qualification as well? The reason why is because it certifies you in proven skills that an employer will want to see. And it's also a great talking point when you go to interview. And if you can explain that you've got hands-on experience throughout the curriculum of building models in AI that can look at computer vision, can look at face recognition and language interrogation, then this is all beneficial to how you could in future apply this within work. By taking one of our industry certifications, the point is that you become more confident in the topic, you become more employable, and that will lead to success in your career. Let's take a look. So this is one of the 4 fundamentals that we offer at the moment. AI fundamentals. We also offer data fundamentals, Power Platform fundamentals, and our Azure fundamentals, with more coming later. From this page, you can see the key areas. So we talk about machine learning within our Azure platform, and you can leverage our AI machine learning engine to interrogate things, such as you can feed it pictures or you can feed it language, and behind the scenes, the AI engine will kick in and start to respond based on what you feed it. Okay, and this is running in the background. And you use it just like you consume any other cloud service. You send it the input and it outputs what it believes it can see. You'll also do things like you look at the ethics and the morality and how to become a responsible AI data user. Okay, and you'll learn about all the different aspects that Microsoft Azure AI can offer you. I'll make sure these slides are available at the end, but you can go to the link at the bottom and see the detail of what's included in this AI course. So if you want to take a bigger step into AI and learn the AI fundamentals, you can do that with only 20 hours of practical training. Now that includes some instructor-led, so from your educators at BCU, but also about 10 hours of self-learning. And that would involve reviewing the materials, going through the demonstrations, and then if you're gearing up for the exam, then you'll certainly want to look at the exam concept, look at the types of questions, look at the format, and actually do some practice exams. And we use the Measure Up test papers, and they're a really good fit for the certification exam. Now, I'm not sure whether or not many of you have used Microsoft Learn. I'm going to demonstrate Microsoft Learn shortly. This is our simple place where we put all of our content completely free for all students across the world to use. And we keep it bang up to date at all times. So you shouldn't see a broken link, you shouldn't see an out-of-date UI, and you should see lots of labs and demonstrations that you and your educators can use during your learning. We find it's a fantastic resource, and with over 1,900 different modules and learning plans across a whole wide range of technical subjects that Microsoft deliver. You can see the links on screen, and we'll have a look at a quick demonstration just now. Let me change screens. Here we can see the Microsoft Learn website. Now, if we can take a look at the schedule, the learning paths, I'll browse all learning options. And here we can see there are 1,946 results. And I bet by next week, there'll be a few more. And by next month, we'll hit 2,000. Let's search for our classify images with custom vision service. And this custom vision, the custom vision service is one of our key AI tools. Now here we can see a module on classifying images. Let me select it. And here we can see a module containing 5 units that's applicable to the beginner, an AI engineer, scientist, developer, and student. So you can walk through this and learn how to classify images with a custom vision service. Let's take a look. I'm going to drag down into the exercise. And here you can see step-by-step instructions to launch an Azure subscription, then create a workspace in Azure Machine Learning. And I've done some of these already, and I'm going to drop into Visual Studio Code and show you an example. Then you can create a compute instance. And what this does, this is the processing power behind your queries. Okay? And then into Jupyter Notebooks, we can actually into Jupyter Notebooks, we can then extract all the step-by-step instructions that you need to walk through to then perform these tasks. Let's take a look now. So here we can see I've dropped into Visual Studio Code, and I've already downloaded the AI Fundamentals workspace. I can see in my Jupyter Notebook, I've got the first lab. And we can see there's 3 main modules here. There's image classification, object detection, face analysis, OCR, and more. In the second module, we have text analysis, speech, and translation. And in the third module of this course, we'll cover Q&A bots where you can actually ask a bot and receive an answer. That's really cool. So this is my Visual Studio Code, and you can use this right now. This is a free tool that we use often for many code experiments, and you can use Jupyter Notebooks in here. And I've installed the Jupyter Notebook already, and I've pulled the free content down from GitHub. And let me just run some interrogation against a picture called StoreCam2. And here we can see that the AI has decided that there's a person here. And if we zoom in, we can actually see there is a person there, and they've actually got a phone in their hand. Okay. It's got a confidence of 32%, which is not great, but it's spotted that it's found a cell phone. If I scroll down, we can now see, let's analyze an image for features, and we can ask certain features and say, are these features within the picture? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at our StoreCam picture number 1. I'm then going to look at the description, the tags, whether or not it's got adult content, what objects there are, and what faces. So let's take a look. Let's run this code from our Jupyter Notebook against the image. And here we can see the analysis has taken place. Now you can change the images. You can make them your images and then see how AI interprets them. So here we can see we've got the ratings and we've got the tags, and it's put a box around each tag, around each area that it wants to spot out. And that would be the end of that module. And we'll move on to the next one. So let's go back to our slide. So you can see the AI resources on Learn are rich. And it's not just a simple read and learn, it's a read, do, and learn. You'll need an Azure subscription for this. But if you're a student at university, you'll get a free Azure for Students with $100 of usage. And you'll get that every year. So go to Azure for Students and sign up for that program. So let me just see if there's any other questions before I move on to my next part of the talk. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. That's great. Okay, so hopefully you can see with the AI that there's a good place to start learning, and that's at the fundamentals. Let's get that out of the way. It's a relatively straightforward exam. It's probably about an hour's long. Talk to people at the university and your lecturers and your educators and see if they offer that. They might do. If they don't, then consider doing it yourself. Okay. Now, what about those people on the call who already are skilled in AI and they've got something to offer? If you've got skills in AI or cloud or data, and there's other people around you who are not so technical able, or maybe they're the first year and you're in your third year, then how about this option? At Microsoft, we know that students love to give back, that they love to get involved, and they love a community. So therefore, we've launched our Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador Program. Now, this is a opt-in program, and you've got to apply and then be accepted into the program. But once you're in, there's a huge amount of benefit to you. So, for example, you'll receive lots of credit for Azure. You'll receive tools and licenses such as, and I'll show you the page in a second of all the benefits, but there's a huge amount of benefits that you can glean from being part of our Student Ambassador Program. So what's the point and why? That's, like anything in the real world, why would you want to be involved in another program? Well, of course, there's a bunch of benefits, but the key one, and the reason why it ties in so nicely into our original gambit of being, part of the first AI generation, is because it molds you into the confident person that we want you to be. It makes you into a communicator, a collaborator, and a community leader. Because as part of the Student Ambassador Program, we want you to engage with others. We want you to organize hackathons. We want you to organize meetups, virtual, of course, during COVID, but in person once COVID starts to recede. We'll even fund the pizza. We'll fund the room hire. We'll fund the swag. If you become engaged and you help others, in effect, we'll reward your success. Okay. So again, I'll make these slides available, but the applications you need to apply. At the moment, we have about 5,000 student ambassadors in the world, and we're looking for about 20 to 50 in each UK university. We're looking to significantly grow this program because we've seen the benefit. We've seen the benefit to the student who leads this within the universities, and we think there needs to be more of them. Okay, what it will do as you go through the different stages of our Student Ambassador Program is you'll become even more confident, and you'll keep giving to your peers, to your students, and also, in some respects, to your educators as well, because you'll be at the cutting edge of the Microsoft technologies. Let's take a look at those benefits I mentioned. We've tiered it so there's 3 different tiers. Okay, you might have heard of the previous version of this program called the Microsoft Student Partner Program, and that only had 1 tier. So there was no incentive to do more or do greater things or to speak on a world stage. Whereas you can see with these 3 tiers, we actually give you a huge amount of benefit in the first lowest tier, but then gradually, as you become more confident, more experienced, and almost more prolific, because you're leading others, you're helping others. And this can be at any stage of your university enrollment. You can be in the first year, or you can be a researcher. Okay, so you can join at any point, and you can stay in the program for as long as you're a student. Okay, and you can just see on the left-hand side all the different benefits that we get just for every level. So every level gets the left-hand benefits, and then as you move towards the right, you get those benefits on top of the core benefits. Okay, so you get LinkedIn Learning, you get $150 of monthly Azure credit to do what you want with. Okay, to do hackathons, to run machine learning coding labs, to build websites that you want to showcase. You can almost use that for almost anything. Okay, we give you a bunch of software such as Snagit and Camtasia to record your sessions. We give you a full Microsoft 365 with Office and Teams, and so much more. We even pay for an exam voucher for you. Okay, so there's quite a lot of goodness in there. But look, it gets better. When you start to move to the beta, and that means that you start running more events, or maybe even one event a month, we then help you with the event support. We'll help you with some swag, and we'll also mentor you. This is a global program. It's run out of Redmond as part of the Microsoft head office, and there's a team of people here to actually help mentor you through, and actually help you benefit from not only the benefits, but also access programs such as our Microsoft Ignite conference. We had one of the UK ambassadors speaking at Ignite, not in front of 125,000 people, but it was a worldwide 125,000 people registered event. It was a huge thing. And Salman, he did a fantastic job. Okay, so that looks such an amazing thing to put on your resume, your CV, in addition to all the other things that you're doing at university. Okay, obviously when you get to the gold level, this is where you then start to specialize. You start to help other ambassadors, and you have a bigger reach. So you might be invited to speak at international conferences. You might be helping other programs, other people in other countries, again, virtually, but also in person. This is huge, okay? And we've also then got the MVP program. And I was a part of that program before I joined Microsoft. I was an MVP for eight years, which really was a pinnacle of my career. I loved the fact that I was a most valuable professional, and I helped other people. I also, I spent at least 1 or 2 nights a week, nights a month, running webinars, running conferences, doing what I'm doing here on a Saturday with you guys. Yeah. So do look at the ambassador. It's a fantastic program. We're seeing a lot of interest. Just since we've launched this in June, we have over 50 people applied just in the last 2 months. Now that university is back, we expect this to start really accelerating, and we'd love you to be part of it. Okay. And again, we can see some of the closing remarks on the program here. We can see you get rewards, you get sponsorship, you get opportunities to speak. But you don't have to speak. You can sit in the back. You can help organize events. You can help, educate other people. You can run a blog. But it's all about giving back to the community. Okay. So we've talked about if you've got very few skills, or you've got some basic skills and you want to learn how do you get the fundamentals with our AI fundamentals. We then talked about if you've got some skills that you want to share with your peers, whether or not that's at university or in a wider field. Well, what if you've already got those skills? What if you're leading the hack today? What if you've already got the skills that you're acing? We've got something for you, and we want you to seriously consider entering the Imagine Cup. So the Imagine Cup is our annual competition, and we've been doing this for about 15 years, I think, and over 2 million people have competed in this cup. 2 million people over the last 15 years, and that's amazing. It's one of the biggest competitions in the world. Okay, so what does the Imagine Cup give you? Okay, the Imagine Cup is a worldwide competition across the world. So we have teams, and that can be a 1-person team. It could be up to a 6-person team from universities and further education that can actually enter a competition based on your skills. Okay, and you need to look at the prizes, because there's some fantastic prizes that come along with even just getting to the regional heat to get to the top of the UK, and then the UK feeds into the world. Some fantastic prizes. If you did win, there's like $75,000 to actually see your idea put into practice, actually into production. And some of the previous winners, they've imagined amazing things. They've got proof of concepts. They've coded some of it, and then they showcased it. And then Microsoft have then taken that and worked with you to actually make that into a real deliverable. And that, to me, is why we're here. We're here to actually put our skills into practice to help other people. Okay, and this time, this year, the focus is on emerging issues, global issues, and how we can use technology to help others. Okay, so hopefully I've inspired you to pick one of those 3 things. If not, take a look at the video again. I think it's a useful, you're in the right place, the right time to lead the next generation. You are the first generation of AI developers, AI visionaries, and entrepreneurs. Go ahead and make us all proud, make yourself proud, because really the future is up to you. Yeah, AI is seriously everywhere. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. That was a great session. I'll keep this up for a few moments in case anyone has any questions in the chat. Martin, Zoe, did I miss anything?
No, I think it fits into any year group. Obviously the first year at university is just, everything's happening at once and there's a lot to take in. So if you think about it, this is the practical side of cloud computing, and actually getting stuck into actually creating a subscription, looking into the interface and building real product, actually seeing things come to life. So year 2, it's a fantastic place. Year 3, if they're doing a 3-year course and they're going to leave after year 3, then get this in your bag before you leave. Definitely, it doesn't take that much time. And I know we're working with Birmingham City University this year to help hundreds of people. We did a pilot with Azure fundamentals in the first 6 months of the year, where we helped certify 200 of your students, and we're looking to grow that this year with our AI fundamentals and the Azure fundamentals. It is similar to the MTA, probably not as much work as the MTA. The MTA was quite a lot of work. This can be delivered in 10 hours of taught hours and maybe 10 hours of self-paced study. And then obviously you've got the exam prep. I'd say the exams were very similar. They're very similar to the MTA in depth and level. And ultimately the fundamentals will replace the MTA. At the moment they're in parallel, and that's, we've not got an end date for the MTA. But we're putting more effort, shall I say, into making the fundamentals a lot sexier, a lot more engaging, a lot more practical. Yeah. And it will only be online as well. We've got a whole educator pack for educators with the slides and the trainer handbook and things like that, whereas the students will use the materials through Learn. Yeah. Who's interested in, show of hands, guys, come on. If you don't want to come off mute, then put your hand up momentarily. Who's interested in doing one of the fundamentals? Fantastic, thank you, Arifat. Anyone else? Just to see if anyone's listening. Ah, we've got another hand. Let's see, who's that? Okay, thank you, you're listening, fantastic. Yeah. We certainly don't want Rehan to come off mute and tell you all to put your hands up, because I'm working with Rehan right now. We're working together on this to bring this to BCU, and it's really exciting. We had such good feedback from the Azure fundamentals. Well, Hannah, great question. If you're not a student, the materials are still there. I've just shown you on Learn. That is where the content is. You can take it from. Let me just show you again. You can take this content directly from Learn. Let me put it into chat. You can take the content straight away today for free, completely. The only thing that you will need to do is, if you're not a student, then you won't be able to access the university exam center. I don't believe you might be able to. I'm not sure, but the exam number, just so you're fully aware, it is on one of the slides. It is AZ900, and let me find this for you, and I'll put this into chat as well. This is where the exam is. So look, they are cheaper than the next level up. These are the fundamental exams, but you can see here if we look at the UK, so the commercial price for this is £69. Now, it's that I know as a student that's a lot of money, but if it gets you started, you can do the learning without doing the exam. But if you did the exam as well, what does that tell the employer? Yeah. So, another question. So if you're at university, then the price will either be inclusive in your fee, or Microsoft provide a really good volume license discount to universities. So it's either going to be inclusive in your fee already, or it's going to be a big a tiny percentage of that number. So don't worry about the cost. It's all about how do we get you job ready, employable ready, and so that we want your future employer to go, wow, and certainly the feedback that we had from the Azure Fundamental program that we ran at BCU in the first half of this year, there were so many students putting on LinkedIn how pleased they were, how excited they were to have had that experience of having practical experience. Alec, you said, is the learning platform similar to LinkedIn Learning? Yes, if you've got LinkedIn Learning today, use it and take advantage of that. It's a fantastic service. LinkedIn Learning has over 15,000 courses. I know it's fantastic because I've wrote about 25 courses on LinkedIn Learning. And there's some good content on there. I'm not aware of what AI content there is there, and if I was not talking to you, and if I wasn't working for Microsoft, I would be writing that content today. I promise, because it's an exciting area.
The question that I wanted to ask is that inside of LinkedIn Learning, there is a possibility to take a learning path, similar like for a DevOps engineer or a AI engineer. Is it something similar inside the Azure learning platform?
Yeah. So if we take a look at the learning options, and I encourage you to do this, and I put the link in already. So look, type search and type, if you want to look at DevOps, well, let's say machine learning. I'm not sure. There is some things on DevOps. So look, there's 81 different results, and on the left-hand side, we can filter by student, and we can see there's 20 introductory, creating, doing things to start with, and there should be learning paths as well. Here we go. We can see a learning path. So that is a whole 3-hour segment on how to do computer vision. Let's have a look at DevOps. I'm not sure DevOps, because DevOps is an interesting thing in that no, there isn't on DevOps. Only because DevOps, well, which aspect of DevOps do you mean? It is, we'd have to drill down to that. Any other questions, guys? I'm happy to spend another 5-10 minutes on this. What I was really excited with, guys, have you used Visual Studio Code? Visual Studio Code is an amazing tool. It's completely free. It's open source. It's getting such traction. You can install. Let me put the link in there for that. You've got a bunch of extensions. You've got Jupyter notebooks. You've got Python. Everything is in there. There you go. So what I like it, and that's why I demoed it, was in my Visual Studio Code. And I'm not I don't spend. Here we go. It's jumped out of it, hasn't it? My code space has gone quiet, so I set it to go to sleep after 30 minutes. But this is the interface, and you've got so many different extensions that just make life so much easier. Live Share is a fantastic tool. Remote containers, Python. Get started with Visual Studio Code, because that is a really fantastic. That's it. That's fantastic. I'm converted to Visual Studio Code. I don't know how I'm going to get my interface back to small size, because that looks really big again. So another question from Rian, you've answered. Thank you very much. So, who's the right person to speak to at BCU if you guys want to do some more to do the AI fundamentals? Who do you need to email?
Fundamentals. So this contact Nizam Bolia.
He'll love you for that. Thank you. Yeah.
Nizam Bolia runs the the fundamentals program. And then the exam side of things, you got Chris McGuire, who will coordinate that.
And I know both of those guys, and they're fantastic guys, and they'll certainly look after you. And this is a journey that's, let's get this out of the way, and it's like that creates the first run of that ladder, mission accomplished. But it gives you such options. Then you can then go, okay, I've got a good basics, I've got a foundation. Okay, I would have probably preferred if it was called AI Foundations, because that's what it is. It's a foundational step. It's a cornerstone. And you can decide whether or not you then go higher or go wider. Ideally, I'd love you to do all of the fundamentals. So do the Azure, do the AI, then do the data, and then the machine learning, and and the next one after. So not machine learning, the Power Platform, and then you've got a good understanding of which of those fundamentals you enjoy the most, and then you can specialize. A bit like when somebody trains to become a doctor, they're a general doctor, and then they specialize in one area. And the same with you guys. Pick a topic that is your career degree, but then whatever you learn throughout that 3 or 4 year degree, you can then focus on that one thing, and that's what you do a master's in, for example, or that's what you'll do a PhD in if you really want to get deep. So the fundamentals is a fantastic starter, it really is, and it's not easy. They're not simple, even though it says fundamentals on the tin. No. It still requires you to do a little bit of work, and the people who perform best at that exam are the ones who do the practical, who actually do the labs. Those exercises that I showed you on screen, actually go and build out a conversational bot. If you can understand what it's doing, or even if you can just follow the instructions and build it, it's possible. And that's part of the puzzle of developing, isn't it? There's going to be developers who are better than you, there's going to be developers who are worse than you. But if you know what you want to achieve, in effect, if you can dream it, somebody can build it. And that could be you, or it could be somebody else. And that's where collaboration comes together. And that's where things like, look, if you're not going to be a student ambassador, find out who is, and then stay close to them, because they're the ones who are really good at explaining these concepts, and they'll help you fulfill your journey. That makes sense. Any other questions? Come on. Rihanna's going to type a question. Any other questions? So in the chat window, which was the best of those three? What made you excited? Which of those three things? Was it the AI fundamentals? Was it the student ambassador, or was it the Imagine Cup? I want you all to type into the chat now. Which one of those three? Or put them in the order. I'd like that feedback. Come on, let's make chat go crazy. What was the number one out of those three topics that we talked about? We only had 20 minutes to talk about it. Martin was Imagine Cup, AI Fundamentals, and the Ambassador. Fantastic. Oh, we must talk a little bit more about the Imagine Cup then. Thanks, Ollie. That's such a great, yeah. Yeah. So look, it can be mentored. So educators can help a group of students. And the beauty about students is, look, if you get yourself into a socially distanced huddle and think, well, what are the big issues that you are passionate about, or that's topical? What's in the news right now? And especially if you do this with a little bit of your AI knowledge already, or your tech knowledge, and think, well, how can we change things for the good? And it could be global warming, it could be wastage, it could be, energy usage, any of those things that you can think, well, look, can we build a better world by using technology? And if you think about AI, the different things that AI can do, and you point it and say, okay, well, how can we cure You know, how could we cure COVID with AI? How could we cure, you know, global warming with AI? And you think, oh, well, that's too big a topic. Well, okay, we'll pick on one thing. So look at you know, plastic in the ocean. Well, you could train computer vision to look for that and then take it away, you know, and move it. Or you could have, you know, you could have an overlay on every CCTV camera in the UK, and there's like 6.5 million. There's that. You could have a feed on every single camera, and you could look for people throwing waste away, and plastic bottles that get thrown away, and it could actually, you know, you could say, right, there's a bottle there. Let's put that in the bin. You know, you know, you've got to focus on different things, and think, well, what can we do? So don't think of the Imagine Cup as literally you on your own. We don't want single teams, because that then makes it hard. It does, you know, it's not easy when you try and change the world on your own. But if you come together as a group, you know, and have a mentor, because you can choose a mentor, you can choose an educator mentor, you can choose, you know, any adult to help you, to mentor you through this, and use that person as the expert in the room to say, we're going to do this, you know, can you give us some advice and guidance? They're not going to do the coding for you. You've come up with the idea, but they might help you package it in a way that could, you know, make it a little bit more polished. You know, just like, you know, like a parent would, for example, or an educator would, you know, your professors do. That's what their role is, to help you be the best that you can be. The Imagine Cup, you know, if we look at the site there, I'm going to put that on the chat, so you've got the, you know, let's look at some of the winners. You know, some of these winners, they were fantastic tools, and they started off from just a very simple concept, and you know, that's what we want you to do, is to think about a concept, you know, and so, like, say to a group of 5 friends or 4 friends, you know, right, let's have an Imagine Cup, you know, chat next week, and think of 3 or 4 topics, and it'll work. Who's got a hand up? I don't know. Cool. So you've got to do it. You've got to do it. You know, there's no reason why BCU couldn't win this, because you guys you've got a very technical group, and you've got such a big campus as well. You know, and I would go as far, Martin, as saying, look, if you do a local competition in BCU, you know, come up with 5, have a prize for the top idea, and have a prize for the other 3, and then take those further. You know, so almost like have a heat in BCU itself. Yeah. Because that, you know, other countries, I know certainly India, are doing local heats. You know, it's such a big country. Yeah. So there's no reason why BCU, and Rian will help you do that. He wants to win this. He really does. You know, don't you, Rian? You'd love to win Imagine Cup.
I want to win
everything. You love to win anything. You do. You're so competitive.
But they don't let me compete. My students say, no, Raihan, you can't join in.
Yeah, we won it back, I think, when I was at the University of York in 2010. When did I leave? I left in 2014. I think we won it in 11 or something like that. It was, so the Irish team won it then. The UK won it in the last 10 years, but we've not won it. We've not won it recently, so we do need to, you know. And it's worth looking at all the different ideas that have come up in the last 10 years. And think, how can we tweak that? How can we change it? How can we apply AI to this? Because AI was not around 10 years ago, you know, and that is the mind-boggling thing for you guys. You know, students. It doesn't actually show it. You know, it's. There we go. That's Ireland. I'll go back even further. It's awful. Yeah, I think we got into the semi-finals, I think, in the UK. I know one person. I know his surname from York, who actually got into the UK final. He got a UK finalist. But yes, you know, the opportunity is there for you. All right. Any other questions? Was that useful? Was that useful for you students?
Yes.
Yeah. Come on, that's great. Look, you know, I'm going to, if you do sign up for the Azure Fundamentals or the AI Fundamentals with Nizam and, you know, and Chris, I'll be talking to you guys again, because, you know, it was a really good partnership earlier in the year. So I do urge you to reach out and send that email to us and say you're interested in these fundamentals, and let's start that moving. If you're interested in Imagine Cup, let Rayan know. He wants you to do it. It does. And Martin's keen. Martin's keen as mustard. Let's do it. But you take 5 more. It's only open now this last week, so you're right at the beginning of the Imagine Cup. Let me see when the deadline is. I think you've got a while yet. It's open for 2 months, I think. So, question there, Arifa, you can answer that, guys. Are there any other hackathons that are more cyber related? So look, there we go. You've got until January 21 to register. So that gives you plenty of time to think about something. So now that it's there in your head, start thinking, well, okay, what would I do? And you obviously got to build it, but have something for the end of December where you've got some ideas putting together. Think about disadvantaged groups. Think about areas that haven't been touched yet with AI. And if you struggle with, well, what could AI do? You've only got to open your eyes and walk around and think, wow, is that AI? Is traffic lights AI? Driverless cars, are they AI? You go to the local co-op and it's scanning your produce and saying, oh, you've not put it in the basket yet. Yes, that's AI. It's expecting that fruit to weigh a certain amount, and it needs to be in the basket. Or it's looking at it, and then if it doesn't have a barcode, it can actually tell what it is first. All those things are AI. Yeah. And I think the other thing, Martin, that we touched on this in the talk, was not everyone is the best developer, but that's why we encourage you to have a group of students involved in the Imagine Cup, because you might have a kick-ass developer. You might have someone who's got the vision of, well, what do we want to build? You've got someone else who's great at artwork or visionary stuff and pull together a PowerPoint presentation, and they've got someone else who can actually do the words and actually put it all together. You've got all the components, and that's what really makes a really good Imagine Cup entry, is to have teamwork. So you've got a couple of developers, a couple of visionaries, a couple of people, who can make it come to life. And that's, it's hard to work in a team. It really is. Because who's pulling and pushing, but it does work, and that you'll get so much out of it. And especially if you can, we've talked about this already in the talk about it's being put onto your CV. If you can say, I was a UK finalist, wow, honestly, that is such a big talking point. So when you're sat in front of JCB, or another huge company, and they say, well, talk to me about the last 5 years, and you say, I did this at university, did this. Oh, and what was the highlight? I know for a fact that the highlight will be winning the Imagine Cup, because, oh, well, tell me what you did. And you won't just be, oh, I just did this bit. You're part of the winning team, or part of the, that went forward to the regional heats or to Seattle and actually won it. And it's a massive thing. But you can't, if you don't take that leap of faith and say, right, okay, yeah, I want to have a go at this. And if you might be one person, you might not have a team, but if you let Martin know, or you let Rehan know that you want to be part of a team, and these are your 5 skills or 3 skills or what you're good at, or even if you've got an idea, let somebody else know that you want to be part of a team. Otherwise, the idea will go. Make a note of it. Write it down. I'm forever writing ideas down. Yeah. And you don't want to just be, part of a team that didn't do anything. So, that you were one of those people when you were at school. Now you're at university, you're part of a team that does stuff. That actually gets involved. And as long as you can define what role you've got, then teamwork does work. You don't have to be the lead developer. You don't have to be the coder. Honestly, that is a big part of it. But the vision and the goal and the ambition and the passion. Most developers will not stand up and do what I'm doing and talk to people. So who in your team who's going to do that? Because it needs to be presented as well. Yeah. So don't think just because you're the best developer, you won't win on your own. You've got to find others. And therefore share it. It's a team prize. You all get the individual prizes. So it's the $75,000 and a Surface Pro and a few other things. You all get a Surface Pro, and then the team gets the money to develop that project. Yeah. So it is a great opportunity. Think about it. Set yourselves a deadline of the next 2 or 3 weeks to come up with some ideas to form. Brainstorm an idea. And let's see BCU do it. All right. Sounds good. Let's wrap it up, Martin. I think some great questions. Thank you for participating. And we'll see you on the. Actually, we're going to start delivering some of these training courses. And good luck with the rest of the hack. My pleasure. Always happy to help BCU.
Thank you.
Yes, all good if there's nothing else.
All right. Thanks a lot. I'm going to leave now. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yes, tomorrow 11. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.